You're listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast, celebrating hunting dog heritage, competition, and community. United Kennel Club has been the hunting dog sports home for coonhounds, beagles, retrievers, pointers, cur, feist, and more for over 125 years. Hey everyone, Alan Gingrich here, flying solo again this week. Well, almost. I have several winners of our recent Clash of Champions, as well as the category winners at the Hunting Beagle Nationals. That was held here in this last weekend as we are recording this. But you know what? What can I say? I think those that were there in attendance this year will agree with me. It was just another great event, smooth as ever. It was held in Zanesville, Ohio, again at the Muskingum County Fairgrounds. It warmed up a bit on Thursday during the Clash finals, but it really cooled down nicely for the hunts on Friday and Saturday, as well as the championship on Sunday. I'm talking like mid-50s to low 60s, just great hunting weather. And, this time of the year it can be a little bit of anything, but we really got lucky with the weather, and I'm telling you, the rabbits cooperated very well every day. The hunters were talking about Sunday, Saturday in the afternoon or evening hunt. It wasn't maybe quite as well as it had been, or quite as good as it had been Thursday and all day Friday. Talking about running rabbits, it was still very good, but the scores were a testament to that. Had a total score of plus points in all but one cast throughout the whole weekend. I'm talking the Clash Thursday, the Nationals Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. One cast that came back that didn't have a plus point cast winner. Man, you can't beat that. I can't remember the last time that would have happened, or if it ever did. So it was just really good, and that's also a testament to the guides, the judges, and the handlers. And one of the things, we had one question all weekend long as well. And hey, questions aren't always a bad thing. We do want to get it right, but we really stressed to the judges as well as the handlers and everybody to do the things right, and also be reasonable, and it's never out, and it's never going to be perfect, and that's just how hunts are. But wow, outstanding by everyone involved, and we so appreciate that, and that plays a big part in having a smooth, good event like that. So, this year we had numerous beaglers come from other formats, and it was very noticeable, actually, or at least to me it was, and we really appreciated all of them being there. Hope they had a good time, and some of them had some success with their dogs. And obviously we also had our usual crowd, and the beaglers are truly a great group of folks to be around, and that was the case again all weekend long. So But I want to mention our staff. I was down there, Alan Gingrich, the Director of Hunting Ops here at United Kennel Club. Lacey Miriam, one of our staff members from my department, rode down there with me. Then we also met Kayla Cooper. So she works remotely for UKC in one of our other departments, but she lives in Alabama. But she is very, very knowledgeable, has dogs of her own that she competes with, coonhounds. She has herding dogs and does all kinds of things with her dogs in UKC and has for years. She's a very knowledgeable person. Her first time coming to a Beagle event, and did awesome. Then we also had Taylor Armstrong from our registration department, and so that was kind of our staff as far as UKC employees goes. We set up on Wednesday, usually go down there, got there soon afternoon, got everything set up, and everything ready for Thursday morning's Clash was our first order of business there at Muskingum County Fairgrounds. Nice place, too. Nice facility, nice building, clean. Got a side room where the kitchen is, nice bathrooms, and that's always nice to have a good, clean place for a big event like this, and it just makes it nice. So let's start a little bit here. Like I mentioned, I'm going to have some interviews, but before that, let me just kind of lay out the event. Thursday morning was the Clash of Champions finals. 32 dogs came out of the regions that where they participated in the first weekend in April, last weekend in March, I guess it was. Out of those 136 dogs that were at those regions, 32 advanced to the finals, coming from 4 different regions around the country. We had one in Pennsylvania, one in Indiana, one in Tennessee, and one out west in Missouri. So 32 dogs here. In round one, we had 8 casts in round one, and obviously 8 cast winners. heads up in the second round. They go heads up. Those 8 dogs do, and they brace them, or we brace them in 4 2-dog casts in round 2, and then obviously that brings us down to a 4-dog final. That all happens on Thursday. 3 rounds there. So we had it set up where we drew everybody from the fairgrounds. Did all the drew everybody out and sent everybody out to Tri-Valley, had a meeting spot out there. We did the same thing last year, worked great. Get everybody to the meeting spot. From there, the casts move on out to their hunting grounds where they're going to hunt at. Everybody's on Tri-Valley. It's so big and vast, they can spread out. Dogs don't get to where they hear each other, and all 4 casts hunted there. Winners came back to the meeting spot again. We had some pizza and things there to eat, drink, and everything. And one thing that I enjoy so much, we went out there, set up some tents and everything. Our staff did, but everybody comes back. Most everybody that was in the hunt hangs around, and that just makes it so enjoyable. Hey, not everybody's going to win. Obviously, that's what a hunt is. But stick around and root on their favorites, their buddies, and this and that, and just a great day. So just a great day out there, and it just had a good time. So I do want to give kudos to Matt Turner, who really helped set it up. Him and I know he had a couple people helping him, but get those spots lined up for everybody. And we basically just drew cast 1 through 8, had the spot already on it where they took their cast. So can't make it any more fair than that. But in the end, it was we had the 4 dogs in the final. It was DJ McCombs with a blue-ticked female he calls Right. Brian Hutton, DJ's from Michigan. Brian Hutton had Big Bad Bailey. He's from Ohio. And then Keaton Hamburger with Bolt from Pennsylvania. Bolt's been doing quite a bit of winning. He was in the junior hunts last year and did very well in that. And seems like that's a good hound, and nobody's really surprised to see him there. Tom Ingram from West Virginia had Trump in there. Trump's been he's been in the World Finals, final cast before, and not really any surprises there. You know, I think if there's any unknown in this cast, it's maybe Wright, DJ McCombs and Wright. You know, he hunts out of he lives up halfway upstate Michigan, and a lot of folks don't see him. Now the guys in southern Michigan and northern Indiana, they've seen DJ with some of his hounds, and he's really kind of come around to these events more so in the last couple of years. But so those are the 4 dogs, Wright, Bailey, Bolt, and Trump in there. And as it were, they went to the same place they went last year for the finals, where Sweet Tea had put on a show, and they scored big out there. And they said Bailey did the same thing at that spot. Rabbits were running good. Bailey put on a show, ended up winning the hunt. And so without further ado, let's get to my first guest here, and that's going to be Mr. Brian Hutton. And he's going to talk about his clash win with Bailey. Here's Brian. Hutton's Big Bad Bailey, $10,000 Clash of Champions winner.
Yeah, it's something special. It's this one means a lot to me. First time winning something like this. You know, done so good at nationals and stuff, but this one here, I think, as right now, cream of the crop. So hopefully there's more to come with her.
Well, you're hearing Brian Hutton here from Frazeysburg, Ohio. I want to go back a little bit before we go any further. Pick your brain a little bit. Go down memory lane a little bit. Do you remember about 4 or 5 years ago? I don't know. We were at the McVeigh Memorial Hunt. It was after dark. We're sitting out on a picnic table. I think it was Corey McQueen and maybe
Brian Collins. Yep.
And we talked a little bit about this idea of having what turned out to be a Clash of Champions. You remember that night?
Yeah, it's very, very, very well. I think it was during the raffle. You know, we weren't winning nothing, so we just started, talking shop about the program. And at the time, I was still the Ohio State rep, and we just kind of started bouncing ideas around, and started getting the ball rolling, and then just coming up with ideas. And then about a week later, me and Brian Collins, we went out and ran dogs one night, and I took a notepad out there and we just started putting it on paper. And then once we got everything down, I presented it to you, and then then we got the NHBA involved because we wanted them to be involved in it. And then obviously some tweaking happened. Everything's wasn't perfect, but it turned out to be what it is today. And I think it's done a lot of good for our for our sport. It also helped guys to run their grands more, something else to run for.
At the local club.
Yeah, at the local club. So it's been a great thing, and I hear nothing but positive things of it. Unfortunately, after we created or come up with this, and you guys ran with it after that, I started coaching softball, so I had to take a couple years off. So come back in to win something that I was involved in, help putting it together. That's why it's so special. It's kind of full circle.
Yeah, well, you're talking about when the first idea, we talked about ideas about that eventually became the Clash of Champions.
Yes, yeah.
That program, which you talked about how it's helped, it brought the grands back. What you're talking about is it requires 5 cast wins throughout the calendar year, qualifies a dog for the Clash of Champions. And obviously 5 cast wins is also what makes a dog a champion. So every dog that's in it is going to be a champion.
And that's how that title, or the name came about, was it took 5 cast wins to be a champion. So it was, it worked out great.
Yeah, and there is the other thing, if you may or may not even remember, but if you think back, it was right at that same time when we went from the old format as far as the championship format to cast win formats.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, hey, let's come up with something that we can use these cast win things in, cast win format, and it worked perfectly for this program.
Yeah, and it's, a lot of guys, they go after that 5, and some guys, they, they'll get their 5 and then they'll do another dog.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing is, a lot of times, and there's dog sports where you have big payouts, even larger than this in our world, not necessarily in the Beagle world, I don't think, but anybody can afford it. Get your 5 cast wins, things you're going to do anyways throughout the year. Yep. And it's really, I'm surprised we don't have a higher entry fee for it, but we kind of just charge what the administrative fees cost to run the regions and this, the finals and everything. So basically for $25, you're, just like a regular entry to an event.
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing. And you're hunting for a purse of $35,000, and the overall winner is $10,000. But so you were a big part of that first discussion. So I thought about that the other day when you're in the finals. I'm thinking, you know what? What if Brian wins this? He was instrumental in first discussing the whole ideas and everything, coming up with a lot of it.
What's great about it is, when you and I are, and Corey and Brian Collins was talking about it, and then we presented it to you. You were loving it, just like, this could be, a really great thing. And I think it has been. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I can't even tell you if I've heard a negative of it, because, $10,000 in the Beagle world, that's a lot.
Well, you say you never heard a negative. Okay. And that is, and if there's any negative you hear about it, it's sometimes, well, hey, there's a lot of money. You're going to have a lot of issues to deal with. So we've had 3 of them now at the regional level, and I know there's been a couple questions at the regional level, but nothing to anything. But at the finals, do you know that we have yet to have a question?
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday we're here in Zanesville, Ohio at the Nationals. We ran the finals off the top 32 on Thursday, as we have every year. And it's worked pretty well to have it here on that day. But we do everything out at Tri-Valley, or have this last year. The first year it went out to AEP at Cumberland. That worked well too, but we stay out there all day. Yesterday was just all day was a fun day. From in the morning when the hunters were all here at headquarters, everybody, it's just an anxious time. Everybody's, and the anticipation is.
It was really nice, even at the, where the meetings, where everybody met up, after every cast, everybody just kind of hung around,
Yeah,
just
they did.
just talking and
Good day out there. It got
Yep.
a little bit warm, not as warm as last year, but in the
Yep.
morning it was really nice.
Really nice.
And we're talking about the finals here now. Yesterday, which was on a Thursday at the Nationals, as we're recording this. But then even in the middle of the day, the heads up round. So we got 32 dogs, 8 of them or 8 casts in the morning.
Yep.
Those 8 cast winners go on, and 8 cast winners go on. They go heads up in 4 casts, heads up. And then that leaves 4 dogs for the final round. So 3 rounds is all it amounts to get our winner. So talk about your hunts first of all in the morning. What'd your hunt look like in the morning?
Oh, we had a fabulous hunt in the morning. I think we scored 615. I believe it was. It was hot right out of the truck. I think we seen 3 rabbits within 5 minutes. And Bailey jumped the first rabbit, and and she was just on it yesterday. Got pretty close, I think, or no, I had 675. The second place dog had 630, so it was still anybody's game at the end. I got nervous when Breeze struck in, but Owen's like, I think that might be a little baby, and so it didn't amount to anything. I still had it covered on points, but you just never know what's going to happen there. So we had just great running. All the dogs worked well together. The spot we went to, it's not a huge spot, but it's a spot where there's plenty of rabbits and you can score. So that's where I went this morning, and so we pulled out a good score out of there this morning. So great group of handlers. Owen did a great job judging, which was kind of nice. Not judging. I haven't been out away from not judging, and it was kind of nice. You get to really focus on your dog. I forgot what that's all about. So, it was nice. I liked how it was done. Just I don't know if it was a random draw or what, but it was cool that the guide wasn't the judge. So it was you had your judges and then you had your guides. So kind of took away some of the advantage or whatever it may be, but it worked out really well. It was me, Owen, April, and who was the other fella?
So I'm talking about Owen D'Agostine, April Beam from Pennsylvania.
Yep. And the 4th dog, I'm drawing a blank.
No, I apologize. I didn't grab the scorecards or anything. That was yesterday, so I forget who your 4th dog was in there. But so let's move on to the gas winners move on to the heads up round, the 2 dogs bracing in the middle of the day. At this point,
and it was pretty warm in the middle of the day.
At this point, so you got 1 cast win under your belt. What are you thinking about this time? Are you feeling pretty good about how she after that performance and going into the next round?
Yeah, I was pretty happy. I'll be honest with you, this hunt all week I've had nerves like from the beginning days. You
told me, and I want to get into it a little bit here in a little bit, but you've kind of been out. Your daughter's playing softball and everything, so you've kind of stepped away from the sport a little bit.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it yesterday. It's like you told me. It said this is about like your jitters are about like they used to be back when you started.
Yeah. And if you would have seen me in the final, it was bad. But so I drew out. It was me.
It was bad or a good bad.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a good bad. It was kind of nice to have that feeling again. I remember in the beginning days at nationals, and I'd almost be so sick I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But
well, hey, that shows your passion. I think it's good when you get if it wasn't exciting still, I don't know, it wouldn't be as much fun. I don't think, but. So, anyways, your heads up, Ken.
The heads up was kind of cool. I forgot the second round was heads up. So, and I drew out with Heat 'em Up Spot.
A good dog's done a lot of winning.
Great dog.
I've
run with him
several
several
Braden
times.
Neely handled him in the
in that
clash.
cast there. We cut loose. It probably took 10 minutes or so, but them 2 dogs hunted very independently. They were both just off in their own direction. Bailey jumped the first rabbit, and they just got the pound in it and scored a line. Bailey was first on the line, Spot was second, and then it went into a rock pile down there. We were running just a power line. So caught them. It was real hot. The dogs were panting pretty good. The sun was beating pretty good. We went up on top of this, on top of this power line, cut them loose again, and it probably took another 10, 15 minutes. But they hunted. They just opposite direction. So then Bailey barked one time, and I was like, all right, she's by herself. Well, would you know, Spot was right there with her. He barked, and Brandon jumped on it, and then, Bailey fired again, so I got struck in on second. And then they made 2 big loops. They got past us once. We didn't see it. But they were driving. There was no breaking down. And then the judge, he got a line. It was on a sight chase. And Bailey had the line, and Spot was right behind her. And they ran it till basically it was till the end of the hunt. So,
That's how the hunt ended.
That's how the hunt ended. Both dogs done great.
Yeah.
So it was.
So the first round is 90 minutes. The heads up round is a 60-minute contest, and then you go into the finals for another 90 minutes again.
Yeah.
So okay, so you said you kind of had the jitters going in the heads up round.
Yeah.
Now you're another round deep.
Yeah.
Is it?
It amplified.
It amplified.
It amplified. So it's it's.
Hey, and you're up at three other good dogs.
Oh yeah, it was a great pack of dogs.
Have you ran with any of those 3 before? You had Trump and
I've judged Trump at the World Finals.
Okay.
The one year.
Tom Ingram's hound.
Yeah, that dog impressed me at the World, so I knew he was a hound.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about DJ
McCombs out of Michigan. He had that right female in there. And she's looked good. She's been on a hot streak.
Yeah, she's been on a hot streak. And then I've run with Keaton a couple times.
With that
I'm not
Bolt
sure
dog.
if I think it was Bolt. It was a good cast.
He's another one's been winning a lot of gas.
I think Bailey squeaked it out the one time before they run, but Keaton's a good guy. I've had many good conversations with him, so it was a great cast. We cut loose, and dogs hunted a little bit, and McComb's dog struck, and Bailey was about 50 yards down, and she fired up, and I struck her, and then from that on, within 5 minutes, I was like, all right, we're in this. So she circled it way up around, which obviously all the dogs got with her. And we were probably 200 yards, about 400 yards from the gallery. And the gallery saw the rabbit come out of the point there, and Bailey had it everyone in the gallery said she had it about 70 yards. And the other dogs didn't catch up to her there, and they ended up cutting down to her. And I knew she was on a rail. She knows how to run that kind of that terrain. Mm-hmm. So,
well, she took 3 first lines on that rabbit there. Did she?
Yeah,
not?
2 of them by herself.
2 of them by herself.
Yep.
She got the first line on all 3, and that's going to be hard to beat probably.
Yeah, the other handlers, they were like, holy crap, she's kicking our butt.
Yeah.
And she was just on.
One thing that's a little different about a cast like that, there's a lot of money on the line. So you're talking about, what is that, about $19,000 that is up for grabs still.
Absolutely.
There's 35 total thousand in the purse.
Yep.
But there's 19 left to be divvied out amongst these 4. So what's different about this is those guys are also, $1,500 for first, $2,500 for second, $5,000 for third.
Yeah, they're still battling.
They're battling amongst even if they that first place is kind of out of line, they've still got their own contest going.
I think the very last rabbit at the end was still determining
third and fourth.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there was a question on if they circled it, and they did. It was they just drove it away from us
Yeah.
and circled in that bowl where Bailey scored,
Yeah.
the 2 lines by herself.
Yeah, so all day that we didn't have a question come back in, but you mentioned, the guys came back to the meeting spot out there at Tri-Valley, all the, win or lose, a lot, they came back there, we had some drinks and food out there and snacks, and you're right, I love that.
Yeah.
Come back and, it was a great day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was a day you won't forget for a while.
I'll never forget it.
But,
and then
so what is it about Bailey that you like? And before you answer that, she is, when I posted the results, I put down that she's basically homebred, home raised, trained, everything. You're the breeder, owner, handler.
Yep.
Everything comes out of your stock of dogs. So she's off of your Grand Hunting Beagle champion, Hutton's little Ditsy's Chippy. Now you own Chippy's daddy too, did you not? Or did you not?
So I owned his mom.
His mama.
His mom was Ditsy.
Ditsy, yeah.
Yep. And then Cookies and Cream. So Hutton's little Cookies and Cream is her mom. So she's directly out of my Maverick dog.
Yeah.
It's the only dog I have out of Maverick.
Oh yeah.
So and then Maverick is directly out of my Hunter dog, which is what started it all for me.
Yeah. So
he was my very first dog, and he actually, he's got me hooked because that dog went out and won a lot.
Yeah.
And then, Maverick did his fair share. I think he placed 3 years in a row at the World. Got runner-up in the NHBA points one year. Hunter won it. And then Cookie. So Cookie, I never put the time into her like she deserved. She could drive a track, but she didn't have the greatest hunt. So she embarrassed me one time at a trial, and I said, I'm just going to breed you. So that's what happened. Chippy went on a run and won, with the Morrow hunt, and then almost, I think he won it 2 years in a row. And he was just a rabbit jumping machine. So the two bred him, and then I ended up keeping, I kept 2 males. So Bailey wasn't even, I didn't originally keep her. My little nephew, wanted the dog, and I told him, well, when the next litter of pups, I'll give you one. Well, he wanted a female. Well, Bailey was the only female in the litter, and lucky for me, he had a 2-year-old toddler and a brand new newborn getting ready to be born the very next week. So I told him, I said, if this becomes too much, I want her back. 2 weeks later, he called me back. So luckily, I snatched her up. She stood out to me from when she was a week old. She kept getting out of the box at a week old, and I thought Cookie was just kind of maybe rejecting her. Now here it was, she was just getting out of the box. And to this day, I've had several Beagles. She's by far the smartest one I've ever had. She is a true house dog. She sleeps with my daughter every night. She gets a treat at 7 o'clock every night, and she'll be right there where that canister of treats are at 7 o'clock every night. And she's just super smart. Took 2 weeks to house train her. That's it. So she's just been a special dog. So, she's a part of the family. There's no amount of money out there that somebody could ask to buy her, because she'll be with me forever.
So she has a birth date of late December of 2020, so that makes her a 3-year-old, about 3.5, going on 3.5 right now.
Yep.
And really an age when a lot of dogs really, they are what they are at this point. And, seems like she's on top of her game right now.
She's pretty special. And I'll tell you what did it was, she's always been really, solid. She's done, she won the state hunt 2 years ago, the Ohio State hunt, won every round. But she's always been solid. But St. Louisville just had that triple challenge, and they did a large pack hunt. Something about that hunt made her find one more gear. I don't know what it was. It wore her out. They pounded for 5 straight hours.
And that's probably a situation, a format that you probably not put her in before. You're talking about, I don't know how many dogs they had in it. What was it, 10, 11, 12 dogs down at one time?
She ended up third.
Yeah.
But something about that hunt because she has been on a mission when it comes to that next gear of foot.
Yeah.
And you get her in some thick stuff, she can get through it.
Yeah.
So
hey, mention your family a little bit. You stepped away from this sport for
Yep.
about 1.5 years now, I guess, to kind of support your daughter playing
Yep.
softball. You do a little coaching there as well.
Yeah, I coached her for 3 years into the travel ball. I got to coach her through her middle school, 2 years of middle school. I was the head coach for it. It was just a blast. It was, you know, those dogs will be there when she's done.
Yeah.
You know, I still got 2 more years. She's a sophomore. I missed the game tonight and last night, but they handled their business. So yeah, when my wife first said that she signed Gracie up for rec softball when she was 6 years old, I thought she was crazy because, you know, I didn't know anything about it, and it didn't take long. I fell in love with it, just watching her play ball. She's a good little ball player. She's a pitcher. She loves it. She plays travel ball. We'll be traveling all summer, about every weekend to a tournament. So they're going to Alabama for one. So it's I love watching her play, and
Yeah.
it was fun coaching her. But then it became the time where, okay, it's time for someone else to coach her now, because it got to the point where you're just dad and not, you know, and not coach. So it was time to let somebody else coach her. But
Yeah.
I still enjoy it. It's hard to sit in that lawn chair and not play coach too. So I'm still learning that.
Yeah.
But it's really it's been a lot of fun, and you know.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good story you have with Bailey here, you know, and you mentioned your family and she's being a house dog and everything. And how is that at home? What did your family think when here we got a Bailey, one of the she's just one of the family, it sounds like.
Yep.
And she is bringing in a big paycheck like that, all based on her performance. What did they have to? How does that feel?
Text,
what
so
is your
my
wife
and daughter
kids?
were at the softball game, so
Yeah.
I wasn't there. And my text to her was, "Our Bailey won the $10,000," and her just no way is what she said. I go, "Yep," and then she said, "Congrats, babe, big bad Bailey," and she goes, "We need to celebrate." So she's just as excited. Because to be honest with you, at first she was hell-bent in having a hunting dog in the house. I tried it before with another female, and she was crazy.
Yeah.
So, but now she means as much to my wife and daughter as she does to me. So she's special.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking time sitting down with us and here on this podcast, Brian. And hey, savor the moment, enjoy it, you know. And I'm sure hopefully it was, and I'm sure it was. It's probably one that you'll remember for probably for a lifetime.
Forever, yep.
And like I said, you know, 3 years old, just getting into the prime of her life. Who knows what's next? Do you have any plans for her as far as any plans on breeding her? Have you thought about that?
So she'll be coming in heat toward the end of next month. We're not going to breed her then because I'm planning on taking her to the world. So I'm going to Missouri. And then so she'll be due to come back in into November and December. We're breeding her. I'm going to breed her to Little Italy's Whole Shot Hall of Fame dog. I really like that dog a lot, and I think they'll complement each other a lot. I got a lot of people wanting pups, especially now that she won yesterday. But because that final, I mean, it was a statement. I mean, it was.
She earned it.
She
took it.
There was no luck in that cast. I mean, she went out there and did it. And you know, a lot of times you need luck in these hunts, and that was just one that she was destined to do it. And when it was over, my guts were just tore up. So I didn't know if I was gonna be able to walk up out of there. So it's been special. And you know, and I got to thank Matt Turner. I mean, I was unable to go to the region because, you know, I'm involved in our church. So I lecture at church, so we do the reading. So I get up there and read the reading. So I do it every Easter, and it happened to be on Easter weekend. So he said he'd take her out there for me, and I guess she looked phenomenal out there. The guys that ran with her out there,
the Indiana region.
yeah, the Indiana region, said she was locked in out there. So if it wasn't for him, she wouldn't have ran yesterday. So I owe him a big thank you. And I want to thank you guys, UKC, for taking an idea that we had and and turning it into what it is, because I think it's been great for the sport, just like the TOC for the coonhounds. That does wonders for the coonhound program. So it's really cool. I don't know of any other format that has $35,000 up for grabs. There, there's just nobody out there doing it, and UKC stepped up and made it happen, and it's been a great thing.
Well, hey, you're considered, Brian. A lot of folks respect you. You're considered one of the good guys in the sport, and it's always great to see the good guys win. And in this case, again, congratulations, man. And like I said, savor it, enjoy it, and hope it stays in you have something in the memory bank to last a lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
So appreciate you supporting the program, and just a good deal. Clash of Champions. Champion.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Alan, I know we both have new Dogtra Pathfinder 2s. How are you liking yours so far?
I'm liking it. I've even had the opportunity now to use mine where I didn't have service, where I download the map of that area, and it works flawlessly. Love it.
I agree. I really like my Dogtra Pathfinder 2 as well. I've used it quite a bit the past few months. I really like the crystal clear maps. I like that it doesn't lose service very much, and I don't have many bad things to say about it at all. Dogtra Pathfinder 2, the official GPS collar partner of UKC.
All right, man, just a good guy right there. And you heard him talk. He was involved with our very first talks about the Clash of Champions, as you heard there, and it's just pretty cool. Kind of everything comes full circle. But one of the good guys in the sport, homebred, home raised, everything there. That's pretty neat. So it was a $35,000 purse. Bailey, she won the $10,000 first prize. DJ McCombs ended up second with Wright and wins the $5,000 purse. Bolt, Keaton Hamburger, they took up third in that final cast, so they got the $2,500 check. And then Tom Ingram with the $1,500 on Trump. And I might add that Tom also had two other dogs that he had a total of 3 different dogs in the top 32. So he had a great year. So all in all, he also got a check for $2,500 total, $500 each for those others. The semifinal non-winners in round 1, or the semifinal winners, those would have been the 4 dogs in the heads up that did not win. They each took home $1,000 of the purse. And then the round 1 non-winners in that first 32, the dogs that didn't win there, they all each took $500 out of the total purse of $35,000. So that's how it divvies up. So, but yeah, for this clash, man, it was just a great day. Congratulations to everybody the top 32. And to get into it, folks can check out our website, go to the Clash of Champions logo, click onto it. There's all kinds of information there. Basically, all it is as simple as this: get 5 cast wins during the calendar year. That qualifies you for the next year's Clash of Champions. And so in that case, in 2024, get your 5 cast wins, and you'll be in it for next year, starting in 2025 Clash of Champions. Just good times. It's been a great program, and hopefully it'll keep growing as it has. So there we go. Let's move on to Thursday night. That was a big part of Thursday, but we've always, I say always, for a long time, UKC's always had an awards banquet on Thursday night before the finals. We still do that. Did it here again and there. We about 7 o'clock, we'll have a free dinner for everybody that's there for the Nationals, but we also recognize our Clash regional winners. Did that. Our First Strike series, which is a youth handler series UKC has, we awarded 6 of those category winners. We have 3 winners, 3 placements in the senior division, same thing in the junior division. That was a great time, and congratulations to all those winners. Also did a thing on the top reproducing males and females. That included current as well as historical top reproducers. Folks can find that on our website as well. That we post that one time a year, I think, about this time of the year. And then we wrapped up the awards on that night with the NHBA doing some awards for some of their winners. Our breed association flanking our programs here, if you will. So just a great Thursday night, and it's always a good fun time. But moving on, the Nationals now. I'm telling you, you better be an early riser if you want to hang with the Beagle guys. It's their deadlines. We even moved them up a little bit. Oftentimes the Nationals were ahead of 6:30 deadline, but we moved it up to 7 o'clock each day. Allowed us to sleep in a little bit. And for us and our staff, that sleeping in a little bit wasn't much past 4 o'clock. I can tell you that. That's when my alarm went off. But just really quickly, the way the hunts are set up, we don't actually enter dogs in advance, but we do have advanced reservations. So what we have is 4 different hunts for the Nationals. Doubleheader on Friday, meaning 1 in the morning on Friday, and then 1 late afternoon, early evening. 2 hunts there. Same thing on Saturday. People can get reservations for the Nationals. Like I said, you don't enter a dog, but you get a reservation in advance, and we limit it to 120 spots available for each one of those 4 hunts. So once the spots are all taken, that's all there is. And sometimes you have guys that it's a friendlier way to do it instead of entering dogs. Now, if I have a female come in season or I want to make some changes, I don't really know what I'm going to hunt, I can hunt anything with my reservation. I can hunt a grand, I can hunt a champion, a registered dog, or we also have a 4th category, which is derbies, dogs that are less than 2 years old hunt in their own class as well. We call them juniors. So that's kind of how that's made up. We also have jackpots. You can get into it. An owner or handler can put his dog in the jackpot for like a $10 fee. And if those dogs were cast winners, we put them in a drawing. And at the end of the hunt each day, at the end of 4 of those hunts, we draw 4 winners to win that. And usually that jackpot's anywhere from $100 to $120, $30 for 4 different winners. So it's a fun little thing to do. But as I mentioned, 4 categories at the Nationals: Grands, Grand Hunting Beagle Champions. They all draw out together, hunt together, and just whatever we have entered for each one of those 4 hunts, that's how we draw them out. Same thing with champs, registered, and then the juniors. The juniors can actually some of them are actually title dogs. I think we had one dog was already a grand. But they draw out with just other juniors that are entered in that class, regardless of what their category or their titles are. Those, again, are 90-minute hunts on Friday and Saturday. And then we have our championship Sunday top 16. And that top 16 is for the 16 dogs of each category that we advance to the championship. And those championships, they only hunt 60 minutes in round 1 in 4 casts there. And the way we determine those is we have double cast winners first, followed by single cast win scores, and I mentioned the hunting was really good this year. The scores were good, but very respectable scores for sure. So I do want to also mention some of the guide coordinators that we had. They have a lot of wildlife areas where we hunt in that area. One of those is AEP in Cumberland. That's about, 50 minutes away maybe, but we had guide coordinators for that, set up Ron Sailing, Bob Sailing, and Kurt Driggs. And what they did is they made sure anybody that wanted to guide there had to go through Ron, and just to make sure nobody's on top of each other, hunting on top of each other, cascading together. And then also he knows what he has at deadline of each one of the hunts. And then those guys also carried some non-hunting guides out there. So we appreciate everything. It worked great. They did a good job. Just very organized and made for a very smooth event. And a lot of it had to do with these guide coordinators. Another one was Matt Turner, who was kind of responsible. He was responsible for Tri-Valley. Did the same thing there. Anybody hunting there went through him, and he made sure he knew they had notepads, made sure they knew where every cast was at. and we didn't have a problem all weekend. So kudos to them. Kevin Weaver, he did Salt Fork, another area there, and just a phenomenal job by all of those guys. The field reps, we also utilize them to help us, has worked for a lot of years, and measuring hounds, coordinating guides in each category. We had Randy Workman from Pennsylvania and Justin Johnson from Maryland. We had them measuring hounds. We also had a retired field rep, Donnie Yant Sr., helped us out measuring dogs on Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening, and then also Friday morning. So appreciate them. And then I had Eric Yant. He did the one category. I think he worked the registered category every hunt, every one of those 4 hunts. They sit off to the side while we're taking entries and everything. Guys are entering their dogs who have reservations. They want a guide. They go over to whoever's utilizing that or working that category, and they'll work with the reps there, and if they're guiding, and so they have that list. They make their guide list. Eric did registered. Alan Newby, I think, had sat or worked the grand table for the grand category. Kevin Weaver did the champions, and Jeff Davis did the juniors, I think it was. So if anybody's guiding there, they go see those guys, they get them down on the list, and it just works great. Everybody's working together. And it works like a well-oiled machine. I'm telling you, I love working with those guys, and nobody complains. And I selected all the judges. When everybody enters, they come up and give us their UKC number, and we ask them who's handling the dog. And then after everything's entered, our system is pretty neat. They don't have to fill out an entry form. After that's done, we can print those labels. So they all come out, and they're categorized by, grands first in one whole strip. All the entries are stuck or still together, and I have this long strip I go through, and I know how many guides or how many judges I'm going to need for each one of the hunts each day based on the number that was entered for that category that day. I stamp the judges I need, and then I turn it over to the reps I just mentioned. They mark their guides, and then they do the draw for that each one of their own categories. It works great, really works great. Yeah, for the most part, everything went really smooth. Had a little bit of a line on Friday morning taking entries there, but I will say this: Lacey and Kayla, this was their first Beagle event, and the first Beagle event ever. Both of them are well versed on other events that we do, working with UKC, and but after that first, they kind of got their feet wet on it, and as I expected, and it was smooth sailing after that. Taylor did her job working with the registration, any pending registration issues that somebody might have had, or even taking single registrations, and she was able to actually, some of them, start processing them right away and get them a UKC number right away. If not right away, she did it while they were out hunting and had it for them later on. Couldn't give them the papers, but at least could give them a number. Kayla also did the cast winner photos, and wow, as those of you that saw the photos, I think they were some of our best photos we've had at a Beagle event. And kudos to Kayla. She knows how to take good pictures, and not just win pictures, but also candid. So most of the candids you saw posted, hey, I posted a lot of them, but I can tell you she forwarded them to me. So she's the one that took them and made them look nice, good angles. But you can check out those photos on Beagles Afield, our Facebook group page, as well as UKC Smug Mug. So be sure to go check those out. Really nice photos. Moving forward to shows on Saturday, we have our bench show. We started out with a youth handler show. We started this the last couple of years. And it's kind of more, it's not a licensed show, but we divvy it up into two different age groups. We have the seniors who are 13 to 17, and the juniors are 12 and under. So it's more like a 4-H type show where the judge is looking more at their handling skills and judging them on that. So we had our big winners this year was Stephen Ellis. He won the senior division, and Allie Little from Missouri, she won the junior division. Those kids do a great job, and I think it's having programs like that. I mentioned First Strike Series where they hunt in the hunts, and they also get points in the show. Those kids just learn so much, and these Beagle events are a great opportunity for kids to handle dogs and learn about dogs and handling dogs and things like that. After that, Saturday, between the two doubleheaders, we had our licensed national show. Angie Vandergrift from West Virginia judged the show this year. She's judged several big shows over the years, has done a lot of winning. She's won about everything there is to win in our Beagle world. She's won the world. She's won nationals, most all of the big five. She's very knowledgeable, did a nice job. We had some really nice classes. And, one that really stuck out to me was the junior male class. The first class we had come in, there were 8 males in that first class. And just a very strong class. And kudos to everybody that brought dogs in. Just really, Kayla she knows conformation. And her being her first Beagle show, she loved that. And the other thing that she brought up is that most of these dogs are dogs that are in the hunt. And it's just a good thing to see. But at the end of the day, at the end of the show, it was a dog named Jake Break, like Autumn Oaks for coonhounds. Just like the hunt is, we also crown a national grand champion of the hunt, and that obviously comes from the Grand Hunting Beagle category. We do the same thing in the show. So the grand class, males and females, actually show together in the champions and the grand champion classes. This year it was Jake Break, a grand champion dog to win that class, and a young junior handler, Bentley Little, who also was our runner-up in the junior division in the First Strike Series in 2023. He handled Jake. He also had Jake in the hunt, but he handled Jake in the show, won the grand class. Then we take the 3 category winners, our best of winners, our champion winner, and our grand winner for an overall, and Jake Break and Bentley win that as well. So we're going to have him on here just shortly, and you're going to hear from him. But, man, what a weekend for little Bentley Little. He is, like I said, he's under 12 years old, and man, I don't know how a young kid like that, how they do it, but he did a great job handling that dog in the show and obviously also in the hunt. So, hey, back to the hunt here. Like as I mentioned, we had one question, I think, come back all weekend, plus points in every cast after cast that would come in all weekend. As it turned out, we had several double cast winners in each category, but we did have a good number of different winners this year in all the categories. And the one thing I want to bring up or mention, kudos to the juniors and those who supported that category this year. That was the largest class. Those were the largest classes all weekend long. I think on Friday morning, we actually hunted 13 casts out of those 120 reservations. 13 casts were actually juniors. So, but hey, thanks to everybody that supported that junior program. And that winner also mentioned the Grand Hunting Beagle division. They get a degree, Grand Hunting Beagle champion, but here's where we also crown a Derby champion that we actually give the dog a degree for that. But so kudos to everybody there. So 4 categories in the 4 different, we had 4 different areas to hunt. We're talking about Sunday morning now. We determined who our top 16 was, and you folks can go see that on our forums as well as our Beagles Afield Facebook pages. But in the Grands, I mentioned we had the same group of guys helping us. In the Grands, they all went out to AEP. When I say all, that's all 16 of them. So 4 casts. And again, Ron and Bob Sailing and Kurt Driggs, they spearheaded that with the Grands. Took them all out there, had a meeting spot there, and the cast winners came back to that meeting spot, stayed out there, and they hunted the second cast, the final cast. Everybody hunts for 60 minutes here instead of the 90 on Sunday. We made one of the field reps, Eric Yant, was the hunt director, so he kind of oversaw all of that out there. Works great. The champs went to Salt Fork. I mentioned Kevin Weaver took care of that place, that hunting area that weekend. And, a couple of guys that we always see at all of our major events that we're not there. They're playing ball. They're doing this and that. Families are raising, or they have families. And the dogs have kind of taken second fiddle to some names that we're very familiar with in this format. And that is the 3MC boys, Trevor McQueen, Corey McQueen. But I want to give them a shout out as well, because they ended up going over to Salt Fork, and oftentimes that's the area where they hunt, and they went over there to help guide those champion casts, as well as I think Corey helped judge that finals cast then. So thanks guys for that.
The registered group, they went to Woodbury, another area to hunt. Mark Irwin guided those. They took 4 of them that hunted in Woodbury in the first go-around, and then they hunted right nearby on some private ground in the final cast. And thanks to Mark Irwin for setting all of that up. He has some great private spots. He lives right out there, so that all worked out good for him to do that. Appreciate Mark doing that for us. Then the juniors, the biggest class of the weekend, mentioned they had the biggest classes all weekend. We sent them out to Tri-Valley where Matt Turner, again, set that up for the forecast as well as the final cast, and Alan Newby oversaw that. But, hey, enough said. I talked longer than I thought I would. This took a little longer, but, man, there's so much to cover for this, and it was such a fun event, a good event. We'd be remiss not to. So, but I want to pull in some interviews here that we did. First one you're going to hear from here is our juniors winner, our junior national champion. It's a dog called Let's Get It Gary that comes out of the state of Missouri this year. Jeremy Crapo owns the dog. So here's Jeremy on that first winning interview for the Nationals.
Well, I'm sitting here now with Jeremy Crapo, one of the first casts back in. Jeremy, this is after the finals, ran championship Sunday at the Nationals, and you got it done. First place overall with Let's Get It Gary.
Yep.
How's it feel?
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
Hard work finally paying off.
Yeah, so let's go to you a little bit. You are from, tell us where you're from, what you do at home.
I'm from Mansfield, Missouri. I'm a lead man over a big structural company, and Merrill Steel, what it's called.
How long have you been running dogs?
I started coon hunting when I was probably 12. My brother-in-law got me into coon hounds and just had a dog that I don't even think was full-blooded coon hound, but in tree coons. And then it kind of went from there. And
Jeremy or Mr. Roller out there, he's used to hunt with him some.
Oh, yeah, we hunt together and travel all over.
Yeah.
Coon hunting, rabbit hunting.
Yeah, anybody coon hunts, especially from that area. He's done a lot of winning, but yeah. So when did you start rabbit hunting, or how did you get into the beagles?
Oh, well, also when I was young, my grandpa had beagles, and I got one off him, and had run it then, and I didn't know anything about the competition part of it. And then, I'd say when my daughter, she's 13 now, and she was probably about 6, she wanted to get another beagle again. So we got with some guys from Missouri and got some heat 'em up. They were heat 'em up bred pups, and one of them actually ended up placing second in the Nationals that year. But Levi McDaris,
I remember him. Yeah.
They actually took her out here for me.
Yeah.
But,
heck yeah. So tell us about the dog you brought to the Nationals this year. It was the champion division.
Yeah, Gary, I bought him.
Call him what? Let's get it,
Gary. Yeah. And I bought him when he was about 8 weeks old. John Hurd actually picked him up for me and took him to Missouri.
Yeah.
And then bought him from Norman Raber, I believe his name.
Yeah.
And
kind of one of Mitch Gould's breeding partners up there.
Yeah, Mitch is the one that hooked me up with the deal. Mm-hmm. And this is my daughter's pup, and she's pretty proud of it.
And what's her name?
Bella.
Bella.
Yeah,
okay,
Bella.
Yeah.
Yeah, she couldn't be here today. She's at a dance competition in Oklahoma, so she's pretty wound up.
So I'm sure you've talked to her already.
Oh, yeah. She was the first one I got a hold of.
Yeah, I'm sure she's pretty excited then.
Oh, yeah.
So, I said going back to the pup, you got him when he's 8 weeks old. Yeah, so you pretty much trained him up yourself and everything.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He was born the end of December.
Yeah.
So,
what do you like him? Obviously, he had a good week here, but how do you get the win today or this weekend here? By doing what?
Last cast we didn't have much running, just everything just for a while, it was just everything's kind of held up tight and ended up working off. But he got in there and jumped the rabbit and got it circled enough time before the hunt ran out. Basically, what we had on the last deal, but I don't know. He moves around good. We had good run in every cast, and that's what I like about him. When you turn him loose, he's not going to ever stand around. He's going to go hunt and jump a rabbit, and he's all business. I mean, he's looking for a rabbit, and he's going to run it when he get it out.
Yeah, well, it's got to be pretty exciting to have good success with a young dog like this. Heck, he's got his whole life ahead of him or what have you.
Yeah.
And a good-looking dog, too, I see.
Yeah.
So how many wins do you have him on? You probably got him qualified already for the clash next year.
Yeah,
You're gonna
maybe.
get several. How many wins did you have Friday and Saturday with? Did you get double
A
cast?
double cast.
Double
win.
cast, yeah.
And
And
then
in the top 16 going into it, he was like first, was he not? Was he first or
he got
second?
second.
Second in the
yeah.
based on score. So
Yeah.
overall, which doesn't really mean anything, but he's up there, one of the double cast winners. So yeah.
Yeah, he got 2 wins obviously this weekend.
Yeah.
And then I took him to his first hunt was the junior at the Eliminator.
Oh yeah.
And he got a Final Four out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I took him to one other hunt, and it was a world qualifier, and he won there also. So he's been pretty successful on winning.
So here, just for the folks to know, we have we have 4 categories. We have the grand category, champion category, where they all hunt together, open registered, and then we have the junior division, which is the one that you won, are for derbies basically. Can't be 2 years old, and that's the one he competed in. And he's also gonna get that degree, national derby champion, junior champion is what we call him. So. Yeah, man, that's gotta feel pretty sweet to have a young dog like this, and he's now the third one that we have, the third one for UKC here. So I know you guys you're getting out here. You guys from Missouri did really good here this weekend. Really made a good showing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had Jason Snelson and a couple of Garrett Cunningham, several of the other guys, Brandon Nelson, and who else am I missing that came out here from your area?
Bentley Little.
Yeah, Bentley Little, Aiden Little. Bentley cleaned house.
Yeah,
so
it
was.
They
you
did real
guys
good.
showed out here this year at the Nationals. So, hey, I don't want to, Jeremy. I don't want to take a whole lot of your time here. I know you want to hit the road.
Yeah,
and
it's
get
a long
going.
drive.
Yeah, it is. But congratulations again. You got a national champion here, a Derby champion, and wish you all the best in moving forward with this dog. But thanks for coming. And
All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, hey, well, maybe we'll see him at the World Hunt.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate it, bud.
All right, thank you.
There you go. Jeremy's kind of a reserve a little bit, but he is a dog man. He loves. He's kind of recently, the last 5-6 years, kind of got in the Beagles. You know, you heard him talking about he used to hunt coonhounds and things like that. So he's a dog man, and man, it's good to see him. He likes that dog, and he came there with a good dog, and it worked out for him. And kudos to him. Good guy. The next interview, I mentioned Bentley Little from Missouri. So the next one you're going to hear from is Bentley and I sitting down, and man, I don't know what to say. He sat there. He's just all smiles the whole interview. He wins the show. You know, he was the runner-up in the First Strike Series in the junior division. Wins the show with Jake Brake. Comes back. He has a double cast win to get him in the championship on Sunday with Jake Brake in the grand division, in the champion division. Nevertheless, ends up third there with him there, but he was won his first cast out there, and wow! But here's Bentley. Man, Bentley, what are you doing? What a weekend you've had.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not dreaming?
I'm not.
You're gonna wake up.
No.
You like dogs, don't you?
Yep.
Dog hunting.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite part? I know you show dogs. You like to hunt dogs. What's your favorite part about messing with dogs? Is it pleasure hunting, competing? What?
Probably just competing.
You like the competing part?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How old are you?
12.
12. Okay. You know, I got to know you boys here in the last couple of years, kind of through Braxton Owens and the Owens and stuff. So you live close to them, right, in Missouri?
Yeah, just about like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your family. You got another older brother and a sister too, right?
Yeah, my sister won the U show and my brother won around yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Aiden, and what's your sister's name?
Allie.
Allie. And you're right. So, but let's back up a little bit. Man, we have so much to talk about. We could make a whole podcast here, but we're going to have to cut this a little bit short. So,
Yeah.
but the first thing, Thursday night, you got an award here at the Nationals on Thursday night. You were the runner-up, wasn't it, in the First Strike Series for juniors, right?
Yep.
So a second place there. What dog did you run the most for those? Was it Jake Brake?
Yep.
Okay. Is that your dog, or is that still Eric Owens' dog, or what?
They gave him to me, but it's still in their name.
It's still in their name, but it's
Yeah.
technically your dog?
Yeah.
Well, you got to get the papers switched over.
Mm-hmm.
What is it so how long have you had Jake Brake?
Probably about 3 years now.
3 years? So he's the one that you hunted mostly in the First Strike Series in this last year.
Yes.
Okay, you got him all the way in the junior division, all the way up to second place. And Braxton probably pretty tough. He earned a lot of points, and so did you. How many points did you end up with?
I'd say around like 500. I ain't for sure.
Gosh, was it that many? I saw it and I forgot. I didn't write it
It's
down.
probably more. I
yeah.
didn't check it.
Do you know the first couple of years we had that we had probably what would win it was between 200 and 300 points. So it's gotten very competitive.
Yeah.
What do you like best about the hunt?
I like just talking to people and going out and enjoying the dogs.
Yeah. You like showing the dogs too?
Yeah. I like just working with them and
yeah. So here at the Nationals, we had a junior handler show, so to speak, and the judge basically judged you guys, the handlers, on your handling skills more so than your dog. What happened there in your class?
I didn't compete.
Oh, you didn't compete. It was your sister that competed.
Yeah.
There you did. Okay. But you showed in the regular show.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Oh no, what did I say?
You what?
I won grands and then I won overall.
I know. I knew you did, but wow. What did that feel like? Were you nervous at all?
Just a tad bit.
A tad bit?
Yeah.
Gosh darn it. You know what that means? Jake Brake is going to be a national champion on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get him in your name so it comes out in your name and everything. But yeah, national champion at the Nationals. It doesn't, as far as the show part of it, you know how many people are going to be envious of you?
Quite a few.
Hey, but you know what? It shows that it doesn't really matter. You could, if you work hard at whatever it is and have a nice dog, age doesn't really matter, does it?
No, it doesn't.
And you can do it. You're proof of it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about the show part of it. I'm sure it was fun, probably. Did you think you had a good shot at winning it?
I think I had an all right shot. Bailey Owens, the one who owns Jake Brake, told me that I might have a shot to win grands.
How old is he?
He's 3.
3. And do you know what he's out of?
He's out of T-Post and Cowgirl.
Okay, so he's out of some nice dogs. So he's not an accident. He looks good because he comes from a good looking family. Yeah. So you won the grand part of it, the national grand part of it, and then you went up for the overall. And what happened there?
I won it.
You won it?
Yep.
He's just winning everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you also hunted Jake Brake in the hunt part this weekend.
Yep.
You can hunt one dog in no more than 2 of the 4 hunts. So did you hunt him in 2 hunts?
Yep, I got a double cast win on him.
You won both casts in the hunt too with Jake. See, that's what I said. You just can't. I don't know. Are you sure you're not dreaming?
Nah, I'm not.
So you made it to the championship Friday and Saturday. You got wins on them. So that puts you in the championship on Sunday. So in the top 16 for your category and champion. So you go out in the first round. What happened in the first round?
I won.
No.
In the first round?
In the first round this morning. In the championship. You won your cast again.
Yeah. I won my cast and then went on to the final 4 of champions.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's you would think you probably won that one too, right?
No.
No, he didn't win that one.
No.
Gosh, you've done about enough winning.
They had to stop me somewhere.
Had to stop you somewhere. How did he look pretty good? Were you happy with how he performed though today?
Yeah, I was pretty happy. Just there wasn't very many few rabbits, so he ate quite a few minus points. But
oh, he did in the final cast.
Yeah.
So he ended up 3rd place overall. Yeah. So, but wow, Bentley, what a weekend, man! I'm telling you, win the show. You get a double cast win in the hunt with Jake and puts you in the top 16 for today's championship. And you go out and you win your first round this morning in the championship, puts you in the finals in the champion division and 3rd place overall. Wow, that's pretty. That is quite an accomplishment you've had. Let that sink in. How's the ride home going to be, you think? It's going to make it are you tired?
Yeah, I'm probably going to sleep the whole way.
You're going to sleep the whole way. Well, hey, I don't want to hold you up any longer here, but maybe some other time we got to do a whole episode. And man, I'm just tickled for you boys, for all of you guys. And you know, I can tell that you like to hunt and stuff, and it just, hey, so do I. And I loved to hunt when I was your age. And so I'm tickled to see other younger guys loving what they do with the dogs and stuff. And to see you have this much success, good for you, man. Good for you. So keep doing what you're doing. And a big congratulations. We've got a bunch of dog food. I don't know how much dog food you won and everything else this weekend, but you've hopefully this will be a memorable trip for you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bentley. Wow, I don't know what to say about that. That's just awesome to see young kids that are they're very capable handlers like that. Bentley is an example of that. His brother Aiden, older brother Aiden, he also had a good weekend, but it just seemed like this was Bentley's year this year. So congratulations to him. Good job, buddy. My next interview here was another coon hunter beagler. Kind of does both. Those folks that coon hunt see Jacob Coons from Gloucester, Ohio. I see him hunting those plot hounds at our coon hound events, and he does both as much as he possibly can. He's got his own business, recently got married. I don't know how this guy does it, but if he's going to get old quick, I think. But hey, another good one of the good guys in the Beagle world here. He won the champions class with a dog named Yogi Bear. It's one of those homebred pups off of his world champion runner. So take a listen here with Jacob. Well, Jacob, you got her done. Yogi Bear.
Yeah, old Yogi. Bear. Thanks to John Hurt for the name and the dog not too long ago.
Yes,
really.
He's got John's name in there. What is saddle?
Black saddle.
Black saddle or black saddle, yeah. Tell us, you've been you coon hunt, you run beagles, everything. When did you really start? Your dad hunts, obviously, but
yeah, I think I probably went with my dad in like second grade or so. I was probably 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah,
I remember making my first coon tree.
Yeah,
of course, the first one was 75 yards. It was easy. Then I was hooked.
Yeah.
So, started hunting the night hunts, the youth hunts when I was in like fourth grade. And then the beagles didn't really come around until I was a junior. My dad had some when I was younger. We gun hunted a little bit with him, and then my great uncle Buck gave me a beagle. That'd be actually, I think, Yogi's great grandmother now.
Oh.
So everything goes back to old Holly.
Yeah.
But competition hunting started like junior, senior year in high school.
Yeah.
So
you've always been around dogs because your dad, him hunting everything. Yeah. So you always had dogs around. So, yeah, I see you sometimes. I know you're in the night hunts and you see it, all the beagle hunts and everything. Makes me think sometimes back in the mid-90s, I did it for about 2 years, and that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work to keep dogs in shape, ain't it?
Big thanks to my wife for putting up with me and my parents for a long time, because you never know when I'm going to pull in the driveway or when I'm leaving or unloading dogs. And they put up with a lot of noise around the house with me and the dogs and all the company. Yeah. But I'll have a lot of help with Donovan Guy and Benji Robinson. Brandon has always helped a lot.
Brandon Allflick.
Yeah. Just like Dad, he has his the Redwood crew. Having a good team helps a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, hey, you mentioned your wife. You just recently got married not that long ago,
in
right?
October. Yeah. So, still pretty fresh.
Yeah. So, what do you do outside of hunting? What do you do? How do you make your living?
Real estate.
Okay.
Mainly rental, starting construction field. I graduated a bachelor's in engineering, but went to construction. Now I'm a rental properties and farm, so got cattle. So. Yeah,
so you've had a pretty interesting everything. Played a little football in college, didn't you?
Yeah, played 4 years at High University.
Yeah.
So I've been busy.
Yeah, I'd say, and now got your own business going, and good for you.
Yeah, it allows me to have the flexibility to come to these hunts like this, and makes it nice.
So let's get back to Yogi Bear. So let's talk about your how did you got him from John Hurt? You said so. You basically as a puppy, was that it?
So he was born at the house. He was out of Runner and Cruz. Cruz is actually Soul's mother. So out of our Runner dog, and it's actually a half brother to Soul.
Oh yeah.
John bought him as a puppy from Brandon, and then just this fall, maybe at the World Hunt, a little after the World Hunt, we bought him back, and then really started hunting this winter, gun hunting, and he's came on this winter, and I keep telling my buddies how much I liked him, and I thought maybe I was crazy, but this weekend I guess he proved me right a little bit. So.
Yeah. How old is he now?
I think he's 3 now.
3?
Yeah.
So he's just that age where they start getting Kind of, getting good and solid, I guess. So, I got his whole life ahead of him.
Yeah, I'm anxious. I'm excited about him. Hunting a lot of runner pups right now, but he's probably the first one I pull out of the box if I had to.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your hunts here at the Nationals. You double cast winner. This weekend, Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Not had good running. I jumped a lot of rabbits. Didn't score as much as we probably would have liked. But we stayed busy. I mean, we ran rabbits. Even today, we were always handling or had something going on. Just didn't do a whole lot of scoring. I mean, we scored a few hundred in about every cast. The finals was a little slower. But there toward the end, or about halfway through, we jumped some rabbits and really ran.
So you're talking about today in the finals?
Today in the finals, we took some dogs took a little bit of minus early. Ate some time up, but then we got a rabbit up and ran pretty well there the last half or so.
Yeah, you got him qualified for the World already?
Yes, he qualified and placed at Eliminator. So I'm going to make the trip, I think.
So after all these wins this weekend, you should have him qualified for the Clash next year already, probably.
Yeah, and I'm somewhere in the NHBA race, which kind of scares me. So I'll
gonna have to run that if you get.
I'll have to drive up and down the road a little bit, maybe, and keep them in it. But we'll see how busy we get with everything else.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, hey, I don't want to take a lot of your time, but hey, you're always one of the good guys here in the sport. And the other thing is, I don't give you much of a break when it comes to judging, but I always usually give you the card. So we appreciate that. Congratulations on your win, and I appreciate your time here today.
Hey, thank you very much. It's been a fun weekend. You guys did a good job with this hunt. So,
thank you. Yeah, congratulations to Jacob for winning that class. Good guy, and is just always a very well-respected guy, and he helped judge all weekend, and I certainly appreciate guys like him helping with that. And you might think, those guys have an advantage. You know what? I don't think Jacob does, and I don't think anybody really does for that matter. If I try to be very selective with that and want to use guys that know the rules first, and their integrity is also very important and I really feel like Jacob is one of those. If they have an advantage, that's making sure the rules are followed and they do things right, but congratulations to Jacob. My next interview here is a guy from Indiana that we don't hear much from. He's been doing it for a good while. He's also maybe a little bit reserved, but man, I love seeing different guys win, and here's a good example of that. Buddy Campos won the registered division with Izzy, so take a listen here. Well, one of our Indiana guys did good this weekend, registered division. Buddy Campos, how are you?
Good.
Just got back from the finals here, Championship Sunday. How'd you do?
Did well.
Did well. Did very well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How you've been hunting in these hunts for a little while, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure for how long. Just been around for a little bit.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6 years from what I remember,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're kind of northern Indiana, right?
Yeah, up by the Michigan state line.
Oh, yeah. What do you do for a living?
RV factory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Which one are you working at?
Crossroads.
Crossroads? Okay.
Yep.
Is that still up in Topeka or
Yeah.
somewhere? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never worked at that one. I think my brother Paul did, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time ago. But yeah, those were the good old days working in the RV factory.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they let you off to come down here to play.
Yeah, they did actually. I was a little nervous to ask for the day off, but
Yeah.
I asked, and surprisingly they let me.
Yeah. We used to say we're lucky to get off for your funeral.
Yeah, exactly.
So Izzy, what is Izzy? You brought Izzy out here, and you won the division, registered division. What is she? Said she's off of Anna, Joe Brown's Anna dog, maybe.
Anna dog and Blue Eyed Magic.
Okay.
Which I think Joe Merritt owns that dog now.
Yeah. How long have you had her?
Since she was a puppy, about 6 months old. Or not? Yeah, about 6 months old.
So you trained her up and everything? And
Yeah. Had her for a while. I actually held her back for this hunt.
Did you?
Yeah.
Man, it's always nice when that works out, huh?
Yep.
Plan comes together.
Yeah, it's the first hunt I've taken her to this
Yeah.
year.
What is it that you like about her?
Super honest mouth. Just pretty clean.
Yeah.
She got some foot, but not a lot. She'll get outran by a big male, but
yeah,
she can hang in there with him.
Yeah. So how old is she?
3.
3. You said 3. Yeah. So how were you a single cast winner this weekend with her or two?
Yeah,
Single cast winners got you in. With what
Yeah.
score did you have?
660.
Oh, so you had a good score.
Yeah.
That's a good hunt.
Yeah, I did that Friday morning.
Oh, yeah.
And I let her sit all day yesterday.
So you didn't even hunt her in
Right.
another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of banked on that being good, and obviously that's no question. That's a great score. And
Yeah.
move on to something else. That's
Yeah.
kind of nice about this strategy. What do you think about the format for that? Do you like it or?
Yeah, I think it breaks up the dogs you run.
Yeah.
You're not running one dog super hard all weekend.
Yeah, yeah. You can kind of have a little bit of strategy and hunt a couple
Yeah.
different dogs or what have you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're in on that, and so now that puts you in the championship top 16 for the registered dogs. So how'd your first round casts go? Good hunt this morning.
Yeah, it was a little slow start. She just went in there and jumped a rabbit first thing and
Yeah,
kept her mouth shut when she should have.
and that's in the first cast this
That was
morning.
the first cast, yeah.
Yeah, it actually it's today was pretty cool. It barely got up in the mid 50s today, but
Yeah.
everybody's saying the running wasn't quite as good maybe today as it was the last couple of days. But
Yeah.
dude, everybody's still scoring on rabbits here.
Yeah.
So you're final now. You're in the final. And what were your thoughts winning that first cast? What does that feel like?
I was nervous.
Nervous?
Didn't know what to think, honestly.
Probably. Have you been in the finals before at
No,
the Nationals?
first time.
No. Yeah.
First time.
Yeah. So, what do you first time in the finals? What are you thinking at this point? You feeling pretty good about your chances at this time or at this point?
I don't know.
You never know what's going to happen, do you?
Yeah, I was nervous, and she struck that first rabbit, and I almost didn't strike her because I wasn't paying attention. And
Oh,
I'm
really?
like, oh, that's my dog.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, after that, they ran the first rabbit for like a half hour,
Mhm.
so that took up most of the hunt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. They were just 1 hour hunts there.
Yeah.
So 1 hour hunts on both of them. So, yeah. So, well, hey, at the end of the day, there were some nice dogs out there in this morning. The
There
whole
was.
lineup, top 16 and everything, and then in the final four, they're in the final cast there. So, but yeah, came out on top and wins the registered division at the
Yeah.
Nationals. So you'll have something to talk about on the
Yeah.
way home and for
Yeah.
a little while.
yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, good for you. You got her qualified for the world this year.
No, not yet. It was
Yeah?
the first hunt I took her to this year.
Okay, you said that was the
Yeah,
first
'cause
time.
she
yeah.
needed one more win to be champion. So
Oh yeah.
I held her back.
Yeah. So what? You got any special hunt you're gonna plan to put her in after this, or not really?
Just qualify her and get ready for the Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, hey, I don't want to hold you up, but I want to just congratulate you. I
Yeah.
appreciate you
Thank
sitting
you.
down with me for a second. Congratulations on your big win here at the Nationals. And,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All righty, man. Thank you, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, congratulations, buddy, man. Good job. That dog is no accident. Comes off one of the winningest females, from its on a roll. Was a dog that Joe Brown had in Performance Pack, won the Performance Pack World, the mother to Izzy, a lot of other events, and just a good, solid dog. So Izzy is she's well bred and shouldn't be that much of a surprise. But congratulations, buddy. Good job. And then my last interview that you're going to hear from here is back to Brian Hutton again. You heard from him first after his Clash win. You heard how excited he was. Man, Bailey has been on a run. Brian has actually kind of took a back seat to some of the events. His daughter is playing softball. You heard him talk about that in his first interview. And he's been helping coach there, and he kind of took a back. The Beagle events kind of took a back seat, as they should. Got his priorities in place, but he brought Bailey out, had her qualified, had help, as you heard at the regionals. He hunted her here, and she was just on a roll. It was a Bailey weekend and a Brian Hutton weekend, I guess, so to speak. She goes through, wins the Nationals in the Grand Division, and what a phenomenal weekend. But here's Brian again wrapping it up. Gosh, you're on a roll, Brian.
Yeah, what a phenomenal weekend. Going out and winning the COC, I never imagined doing this. That's a big feat. That dog's put a lot of miles in this week and able to pull it off.
Well, we started this podcast. You were my first one after the Clash of Champions finals win with Big Bad Bailey. And I've interviewed the youth handler and the show winners and the other category winners, the junior national championship. We got some excited folks here, and we're gonna wrap up the episode here today with you again. And here you are winning the grand division with Bailey again.
Yeah, it's she put it all on the line this weekend, and she's just a great dog. Dog.
You ran on Thursday. We ran the Clash of Champions 3 rounds on
3
Thursday.
rounds, yep.
So did you hunt her at all Friday?
Yes, I ran her Friday morning, and she showed her fatigue from the 23 miles from Thursday. That's what she had on the Garmin for all day Thursday.
So you didn't. Then when did you get in on one cast win?
One cast win.
And when was that? Saturday.
Saturday morning, she scored 720.
Yeah. So she's
scored 615 on Friday morning. Lost by 100.
Yeah.
She missed 3 lines where that fatigue was kicking in there.
Really?
So she didn't completely recoup, but she's put her heart in it. She just didn't have the legs.
So got had a good performance on Saturday morning. A good score again. That obviously got her into the championship this morning. So tell us about your hunts today, the championship.
So we Grands went out to the AEP ground,
Cumberland
ground, and it was Bailey, my buddy Matt's, and Jeff Ing's whole shot. And Izzy
the one you're planning on breeding, or the whole shot?
That's one breeder too. And then Randy was running Justin Schaefer's Miss Me dog.
Yep,
so,
Randy Workman.
Yep, we cut loose. Miss Me had first strike on the first rabbit, and Bailey struck, I believe, second. I believe it was second. And then they circled it around, called a line. Bailey scored by herself. The rabbit crossed the road, and then dogs got split 2-on-2. Bailey and whole shot was running, and then Miss Me and Ren was on the other side of the road running, and they were just smoking both their rabbits. And then Bailey and whole shot's rabbit went to a hole, and then by that time, the other two were pecking around, and then Bailey and whole shot got to go up to them. They got their rabbit going again, and scored one more line. I got third on the line. I was nervous. I needed a little luck to in that. Both casts really. She wanted to run the whole track, and a couple of dogs were really wanting to drive it, and she didn't want to pick her head up. So that second line that was scored, I was nervous that she wasn't going to get it at all, but she got down there. She just wanted to run that whole bit of that track. And
you're talking about the semifinals first.
Yeah,
cast
the semifinals, yep. So she scored that, and then they ran a little bit more. Then we cut loose again. Whole shot or Miss Me. I think it was whole shot. No, it was Miss Me. Struck. And then whole shot. I had last strike, and it took her a while to strike in. So she got in there, and they circled it. Got a line. She had first line on that. So, and then the hunt pretty much ended shortly after. So it was a good day.
Yeah. So now you've won that first round cast. Now you're in the finals, and you go back to your meeting spot. We got it set up to where the whole category just stays out there. The winners come back to a certain spot. They reconvene and go back out to hunt that final. So at this point, what are you feeling here? You got a lot of confidence here at this point, or is just winning the Clash on Thursday, the finals of the Clash Thursday, and now you're here where you are. You got a shot to win put a national grand title on the dog.
Yeah.
I don't know if you think about this. A big win like the Clash.
Yeah. Same
weekend, you come back and you put another. Outside of a world title, the national grand title is about as big of a title as you can put on a dog. Hang on a dog at the nationals. So you've got one more cast to make this happen. How is that a lot of pressure, or is the pressure off at this point?
When after the semifinals, I was like, we left the house this morning. She, I could tell she had her spunk back, so she fully
Yeah.
recovered from Friday, and so I was like, man, we got a shot at this. And then when we got through the semis, like I said, took a little luck. Going to that finals, I've run with Tipsy. Her and Tipsy battled all year, and we
John
pleasure
Allender's
run.
dog.
Yeah, John Allender's dog. So, they go back and forth. Bailey might win one cast, and then Tipsy will win the next one, or for pleasure running, So I knew I was getting there, so I knew, packing a hound, and I drew Pedro in the COC in the first round, so I knew what he was capable of.
Chad
Very
Smith's
fast dog. Yeah, and then Eric's always packing a dog. So Eric Yant. So
Yep,
I knew
Sarah.
Sarah was, and I ran with her out in Indiana once, and so I knew she was a nice dog, so I knew it was going to be a good final, and so we went out there, cut loose. Seemed like later in the morning the rabbits weren't out, so the dogs had to go hunt. In the first rabbit, Pedro struck. Bailey was about 50 yards down the hill. Bailey jumped the rabbit. We saw it on the jump and came out. And then where we were running, there's a big old oil pad. So so 3 dogs were struck. Sarah was about 250 yards the other direction, so she didn't hear them. They ran it to that well pad. Well, the rabbit went across the well pad. So 3 of us ate minus 50, and I'm thinking, oh, man. So, and then so Sarah was in the driver's seat there because she didn't hear them. So then we caught them, ate our minus 50, went down about 100 yards or so, cut them loose. Pedro struck. Some time ran off. Pedro struck, and then and Bailey struck second. And they ran it out, circled it, came back. The judge called a line, and we're all standing right there where he was calling the line, and Bailey came out by herself on it. So that put her up, and then we only had one more track. 2 dogs struck way in there on the recast. After the 3 got them, we caught them, and we had 5 minutes and 1 second left at the hunt. So we walked up back toward the truck. We were probably 200 or 300 yards from the truck. Walked up to the trucks, walked up the road, cut loose. In the last 5 minutes, it was silent. So
Yeah.
So that's how the cast went.
Yeah.
So,
So you're talking last 5 minutes? Is that a little nerve?
Sweating bullets,
Sweating bullets.
especially where we were standing right on the gravel pad. All it takes is a dog jump and it coming, running past us, and then the time run out. So I was definitely nervous the last 5 minutes. So.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of when it's your day or when it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah. So yeah.
Gosh, it's got to be. The other night when we were talking, the first discussion we had on this episode was you and I, which was a couple nights ago, right after you won the Clash. I could just sense the excitement then, and I don't. Is it a tiring weekend here?
Yeah, I'm ready to take the biggest nap ever.
Yeah.
Get
So
some
I'm
food.
sure your daughter's super excited again.
Yeah, I tried to get them to come down here. They're actually wasn't home, so we're gonna set up everything she won, and we'll get family pictures with her.
Yeah,
because she's a family dog. So
yeah. Well, you won quite a bit this weekend with her. So,
it's been a absolute memorable weekend. I don't know if anything will ever top it in the competition world of mine. So it's I'm very blessed to have a pretty damn good hound that born and raised at my house, and that goes all the way back to my hunter dog. So it's pretty special.
Yeah. Well, we talked about a lot of that, and folks can go back, rewind, and listen to that first part. But yeah, homebred, home raised, and had what a solid year and a solid weekend for sure.
Yeah.
So. Well, hey, I don't know. We could probably sit here and talk for another hour, but we need to get this wrapped up. But kind of fitting that we started out with Bailey, and we're going to end it here with Bailey as the National Grand Hunting Beagle Champion.
That sounds good.
So, all right. Well,
I like the sound of that.
Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you, Alan.
There you go. I don't know what else to say about that, and that's just, if there was anybody that had a weekend close or any better than Bentley Little, it was definitely Brian Hutton. But that was, what can you say? Just a great event, and wrapping up, I want to thank everybody involved. Outstanding nationals, and I don't know how we top this, but it has everything to do, I feel like, with everybody putting in the effort, from the guides, judges, us, everybody involved, and not just us. We can't do it all ourselves, but everybody that helped. And then lastly, also the hunters and the handlers, I mentioned them, asking them to be reasonable. If there are things that we don't always agree with in the field, try to work them out. And, I feel they really did that. Just a great group, and this is a result. And thanks everybody for all of that. So, for me, it's time, I think, to take a little break from the hunts. The spring here has been a very busy time for us at UKC, and it's been a great spring. The Nationals kind of wrapping it up with a clash in the Nationals is a good one to wrap it up and on a good note. And got a little fishing trip planned here with my Uncle Hank, so I'm looking forward to that. Some of you know that I like horses, and I got a couple of horse sale bid spotting gigs coming up as well. So, and lastly, I also want to make sure I get my own dogs out a little more again. I think they think I've abandoned them, but hopefully I can get a little more of that done. I still enjoy running my own dogs too whenever I can. But I hope you all enjoyed this episode recapping the Clash of Champions and the Hunting Beagle Nationals. So there you go. I'm going to wrap it up with that, and we'll see you all on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. Be sure to give us a follow so you don't miss any of our new episodes or content.